everybody, and welcome to today's class about this new cycle that is beginning in 2026. So I invite all of us, for those of you watching live, for those of you watching maybe later, to get comfortable. Take a little moment to connect with yourself, with your breath, to not only listen to the information, but truly try to feel first what it moves within you and what it means to you. I think that's one of the most empowering things about astrology is that at the beginning, there's like different stages. First, we don't know anything about astrology, so we start learning about it. And when we start learning about it, we kind of want other people to tell us what it means for us. It's like, tell me what's gonna happen to me, or what does this mean for me? But that's why I love to teach people about what things mean, because then you can start giving it your own intuitive kind of definition for yourself. So that's kind of why I wanted to make this class, to share with you a little bit about the transits that are going to be happening this 2026 and how it marks a literal new beginning. And after the end of this class, you're going to know why I mean that. There's so many things that are this upcoming year astrologically that represent a new beginning. So it is kind of exciting. And specifically, the main part that we want to focus on, there's a lot that's going on astrologically, but it's about Saturn and Neptune entering Aries. That's the main focus of this class. And of course, I am assuming here that everybody knows me, but if you don't know me, my name is Luciana, and I love talking about astrology, so I just teach people about it. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing today. So the first thing that I want to keep in mind as we're moving through this information is that these transits that I'm going to be talking about today, the shift of this energy has been happening for a while. We're going to be talking about Neptune, which is a planet that moves signs every around 14 years. So if you think about it, you have Neptune moving through maybe, what is it? Maybe around 6 or 7 signs for all of your life. So you won't get ever to go around the whole chart of all of the 12 astrological signs. But it takes around 14 years to move signs. Now in 2025, it started that change. Neptune has been in the sign of Pisces, which is the last sign of the zodiac, meaning representing endings. And it's also the sign of connecting with the spiritual side of life, with the things that we cannot name, that we cannot see, but that we feel, the intuition that we have. Neptune has been in Pisces for 14 years. And in 2025, it said goodbye for now, and it entered Aries around March. So you can even right now think back to what was happening in March of 2025, just like a few months ago. Not a few months, but a little bit of time ago. We got a little bit of a taste of Neptune coming into Aries. And then Saturn also came into Aries for a little bit, and they both left and went back to Pisces. But we are literally right now, I'm recording this in December of 2025, in the transition of getting back to that energy of Aries permanently. So I just want you to have these key dates here in the presentation. You can come back to them later after we learn more about what it means. But just know that what I'm talking about today, Neptune will enter Aries on January the 26th of 2026. Saturn will enter Aries in February 13th, 2026, just perfect for Valentine's Day. And then 2026 is also the year of, in Chinese astrology, is the year of the horse. But not only just the horse of fire. And the Chinese zodiac, which is what they call it, it doesn't begin until February of 17 of 2026. So I want you to see how a lot of this energy is already kind of brewing. What we're about to learn, it's there, but it's not fully taking full on action until the end of January, all the way until February. That's where you're going to feel the shift. And then there's other transits that are going to also happen closer to April, and you're going to feel it even more. So just kind of keeping that in mind. Now, why does this matter? First, these signs are entering Aries. And one thing we want to know about Aries is that Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, When you learn about astrology, you know that there's 12 astrological signs and 12 astrological houses, and there's a number one. Not that it's better than the others, but there's a point of beginning, and it's with Aries. So the fact that Neptune and Saturn are entering Aries, it tells us that these two beautiful planets just went around the whole zodiac doing a cycle, even during a time when we were not alive yet, right? But at some point, for example, it takes around 30 years for Saturn to go around and come back to its place. So around 30 years ago, it was we started a new cycle of Aries. Neptune, it takes a lot longer because it's in each sign 14 years. So it's been so long since both of them embarked on this journey with starting in Aries. They went all the way around and now we're back. And they happen to be there at the same time, even though they have different times. So both planets are entering the first sign, and this signals we're resetting. Everything for these two signs that has been going on, they just gain so much wisdom, so much expansion, but they're saying, let's clean the slate. We're starting from the beginning. Now, the shift begins a move from inner processing to active direction. Why? Because both of these signs are right now, as we're speaking, in Pisces. Right now, December of 2025 and the beginning of January of 2026. I want you to imagine that we are about like in the birth canal, like we're about to be born. So we're going through like some growing pains. I don't know what any of you have been going through, but just know that I just hear from so many people and personally myself that there's a lot, not necessarily anything bad, but there's a lot of movement. There's a lot of things going on that in a way are teaching us what we feel ready to release and let go of. So Pisces, we've been in this chapter of Pisces, has been teaching us to look within, to feel, to connect with our intuition, to connect with our spirituality, to ask all these questions about contemplation. What does things mean? This existential connection with something bigger than ourselves. And hopefully through the last 11 years and 2.5 years with Saturn, we've gained some lessons. And these lessons are about trust, and these lessons are about connecting with our intuition, and these lessons are about surrendering, accepting loss, accepting that things change. But now, as soon as we enter next year, you're going to feel that everything is no longer about processing and feeling, and it's about action. We're going to be moving. And ideally, we want to be moving in a direction that benefits the life we want to build. And we also want to be moving in a way where we're not just destroying everything in our path. Like we want to be conscious through this process. Now, Pisces energy dissolves, Aries energy starts. So with Pisces, it's let me dissolve my belief system. Let me dissolve how things used to be. Let me let go of feeling like a victim. And Aries is like, it's time for a new beginning. This turning point is how we act, choose, and take responsibility. Aries is not only just the first sign of the zodiac, it is a fire sign, and it is a sign that is a cardinal sign, which means initiate, starting, leadership, action, knowing, trust, courage, just kind of moving forward. Now, let's kind of revisit a little bit of what has been going on for the last, 14 years. I invite you to look back at your life in 2011. What was going on in your life in 2011? Yeah, 2011. It feels like yesterday, but it's actually 14 years ago. Were you starting anything new? Were you living in the same city? How did you feel about yourself? Were you in a different relationship? Were you in a different type of job, or were you starting school? Think a little bit about what was going on around that time. Especially it was around April of 2011 when Neptune entered Pisces. It closed the chapter in Aquarius and it said, I'm moving to Pisces. Now, has it been 11 years? 14 years. I think I put 11, but it's been 14 years. We have been focusing, our life, or the energy of Neptune has been pushing us to focus on healing, feeling, being connected to compassion, or discovering compassion. And the only way to discover something is through experience. A lot of the time is through hardship, to difficulty, through grieving, through loss, that we may discover these things, unfortunately. Also, Neptune in Pisces led us to a lot of sometimes feeling confused, lost. Many people said I was feeling like I knew who I was, but I really didn't know. Like I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't know. There was a lot of this feeling of I feel lost and I don't know how to take direction. Um, Changes in boundaries. Also, maybe we didn't know how to take boundaries or how to put our own boundaries in our life, or we went too extreme and cut everybody off when things didn't go our way. Maybe we felt emotionally overwhelmed, spiritual searching or loss of clarity. This was a time where many people entered into this world of spirituality, and everything was about being spiritual and connecting with all these different types of wisdom, not only through like more kind of metaphysics type of thing, but maybe through a specific religion or church or thing that you completely devoted to. And collective themes of dissolving outdated structures. So, as a collective, we were all trying to figure it out. How can we dissolve the structures that are in place, which is kind of what, for better or worse, is happening right now in our world. A lot of structures are being dissolved, and we're going to be building new ones with the energy of Aries, which is why that energy is so important. Now, Saturn was also in Pisces, and this was for 2.5 years. Now, Saturn is Neptune, like I said, dissolves any type of boundary. It kind of doesn't know what's to expand. It wants to be spiritual. It wants to be intuitive. It wants to feel. It wants to tap into creativity, illusion. But Saturn is the opposite of that. Saturn is discipline. Saturn is about doing the hard work. Saturn is about teaching us lessons. So, wherever in our chart we have Pisces for the last 2.5 years, so this is more around 2023. Think back of what was going on in 2023 for you. You started a cycle of Saturn being in Pisces in whatever house you have Pisces. And this brought a lot of hard lessons around trust and uncertainty, pressure to mature emotionally, confronting avoidance. Saturn Pisces likes to escape because it rather feel lost because it feels more at home in the not knowing and being expanded, and that can lead to escapism. This can be escapism through social media and scrolling, alcohol, drugs, sex, whatever it is that allows you to be somewhere else except here. Pisces likes it because it feels more natural to it, but a lot of the times it doesn't lead to building the life that you want. So Saturn came and said, let's go ahead and focus. Let's confront any type of avoidance that you have. Let's not escape anymore, and let's face what's going on. So we've all in some way have been going through that. Learning to hold structure inside change, because Pisces is about surrendering. It's how can we, it sounds so poetic when I explain it, but how can we have structure and discipline in something that doesn't have a form and still move forward? That was kind of what in trusting in the process. How much has changed? Think about 2023 to now. How many things have changed in your life? How many things have changed in the world? And there's things that have happened that we've all been like, what is going on? Like, what's going on? And all we can do is surrender and trust life, because a lot of these things are completely outside of our control. Of course, there's a lot of things that have been in our control, and hopefully we've been able to take responsibility for those. But a lot of the times we have to learn to, like I said, let go and still have structure to move forward. Integrating spiritual themes into your daily life. This has also been a time where people have said to me, I've been able to do meditation, but in a more like structure, casual kind of way, where it's practical, it's part of your life, but it's not like something very like woo woo or something, or I don't know, kind of more grounded in some way. Now, I want to take a little moment to say, I think it would be good to take a moment and say thank you to life and thank you to that energy of Pisces. Because even if you've been able to already see the blessings in your life, if you're able to see them, I know that sometimes there's things that happen that are so difficult that nothing that I'm saying here will give credit or make sense. But there's other things that have happened to us that we know are for the best for us, but we yet haven't gotten to the other side. We know the good part is coming. We know something positive is coming, but we're putting in the work, but we haven't yet seen it. And it's taking so much faith and like be like, okay, I'm gonna continue. And we want to kind of thank that process because the person you're going to be and how much you're going to thrive and who you're going to become is going to be held by the work that you've done now. So I always like to say thank you, Pisces. Thank you for the lessons, especially the last since 2011 until now. I mean personally for me it's been like a lot. So I'm just like thank you for that chapter. I'm ready to move completely on and to the next thing because now we're entering the shift into Aries. Pisces said it's time to release, and Aries says now it's time to move. Pisces said or asked for reflection, stop, feel, contemplate, and Aries will ask you, make a decision. Decide. Stop asking people to decide for you. Stop thinking that you're a victim, that you don't know. Decide. You spend years clearing old patterns. You already did, regardless of what type of work you do. Not everybody does the same type of work because life is our teacher. Not all of us go to therapy and then find the answers there. Not all of us have maybe supportive loved ones. There's so many different layers in how we grow and evolve. For some people, the biggest breakthroughs have come through astrology, gene keys, human design, or other practices that have helped them, but you've done a lot of work, and it's so important to give yourself credit because you're not the same person you used to be. You've matured, you've changed, you've taken the time to clear as much as you could in whatever way that you knew how, but now you start taking those steps forward. It's time to move forward. Energy moves from internal processing to external action. A new cycle of self-definition will begin. I've been telling a lot my partner how this new chapter that, you know, how for many people sometimes they say, oh, I remember how I used to be in high school, or I wish that I could go back to who I used to be. That's a lot of the yearning of Pisces when something is unresolved. The best version of you hasn't even come to fruition. Like you're still becoming the best version of you. So that yearning for the past, it's going to change at least for 2026 and the next 14 years and the next 2.5 years for Saturn. You're not going to find yourself yearning too much, and you're going to be like, how can I resolve this? If something really bothers me and I miss something that I used to be, how can I make it happen again, even in a better version of myself? So what Saturn will bring in Aries. So Saturn, something interesting that you may feel this upcoming year with this energy is that, like I told you, Aries is known for being a fire that wants to take action. So it's also known for being impulsive. So there may be an energy in the air of impulsiveness to a certain extent. Everything else in your chart plays a role of how you take action. Wherever you have Mars in your chart is going to also tell you how you're going to be affected in this, how you're going to move into action, because Aries is ruled by Mars. So Aries is ruled by Mars. So you look at your chart where in the 12 houses you have Mars. It may not be in Aries. It may not be in Pisces. It could be in Capricorn. It could be in Sagittarius. That also is going to play a role of how you take action. But Saturn, I find this very lovely. Saturn is going to say, we're going to not rush. We're going to take our time. And maybe we're going to take action, but maybe it's still going to take a little bit of time. Maybe we need discipline in our action. So instead of just like taking forward, Saturn is going to ground us, ground our energy when it comes to action. We're going to be more disciplined, or we can be. Ideally, we want to use Saturn to learn to take personal responsibility. Having grounded courage. Many people think that courage is, I'm going to do something even if I'm scared. But what if it's irresponsible? What if you're not supposed to take that 40th credit card out? You know, like what if it's not the thing that you need to do? Saturn is going to keep us grounded. Saturn is also going to push us to take consistent action. And this is something that I know I can say that I experience. It's great to take action, but what if you put all of your energy to take action for a little at the beginning and then you burn out and then you cannot complete your project or your goal or going to school or whatever it is you said you were going to do. So Saturn is going to help us to ground ourselves and take consistent action, real steps toward desired identity. So whoever it is that you've been wanting to become, you can become it, because that your only role in life is to be you. Whoever it is that's watching this, you came here to be you. If you've been trying to be somebody else, then you're truly on the wrong path. You need to be you. So whatever it is that you've been desiring, you've been wanting, you get to do it, but it will require the hard work. But now, if you have a clarity of who you want to be or where you want to get to, especially in the Aries and the house that you have Aries, then it's going to be easier for you to take real steps to get there. Nothing happens magically, but it will happen. Now, accountability for your choices. Saturn doesn't let us get away with things. If we are trying to take advantage of people, if we are trying to be dismissive, not take responsibility, get away with things that create suffering, Saturn is going to show you a consequence. That's why Saturn is the planet of karma, because Saturn says, you want to learn? I'll teach you. And then when we do something that creates suffering, we experience that to be able to learn. And then it's going to be long-term commitment to a new direction. This gets me excited because yeah, you're going to decide, okay, this is my thing. I have new direction. But a lot of the times, like I said, the fire dies out and they're like, oh, I'm back to the old version of me. Now Saturn is going to give us that long-term commitment to continue forward. So in 3 years, by 2028, you're going to fully have transformed the way you master this energy of Aries. I personally get excited. All the Capricorn placements, they have no fear. They're ruled by Saturn. They're like, okay, great. Now let's do this. So yes. Now, what is Neptune going to bring into Aries? So Neptune, remember, is the vision. So it's going to bring vision for a new sense of self. So it's the one that's going to allow you to dream and think and contemplate who you want to be. It's going to bring intuition that pushes action. A lot of the times with Neptune in Pisces, we could have a lot of intuition, but then we feel lost in our intuition. It's like, well, I think I feel this. And then we go with someone, hey, what do you think I should do? Because I'm lost. I don't know what to do. Now we're going to have intuition, but hopefully use it to push into action. Renewal of personal purpose, because Neptune gives us this sense of vision. It's kind of like we've been in a storyline, like a TV show that had 14 seasons. I don't know which one, outside of Grey's Anatomy, I don't know which one has like a lot of seasons, but it had a lot of seasons, Neptune and Pisces, but now finally the show is over. And now we're starting the pilot first episode next spring of the not new season, new whole show that you're about to start. So it's gonna inspire and renew that purpose. Dissolving outdated identities, inspiration to move forward, and a long influence that reshapes motivation. Now, I will say I am intentionally choosing to provide this information with hoping that this will inspire you, because I believe that when people are inspired, they have more access to their energy. You can go after this class and Google or Chat GPT, tell me what Neptune's going to happen in Aries and this and that. And a lot of people recently have made so many videos about what they consider the negative things that could happen. What if Neptune means that I feel lost, and because I feel lost, then it can lead to a lot of misuse of my energy? Or like Aries is connected to war. What if that means that we're going to go into a war? I mean, that really, truly is not necessarily what the astrology is saying, but people like to always focus it on the negative. Everything in life is possible, but I find it more useful to focus on the positive. But there are shadows to everything. So if I could mention the shadow of Saturn in Aries, it could be that it can awaken a lot of anger in you. Why? Because Aries is going to want to take off. And imagine somebody that's like, I'm taking off, and then something holds them back. What do you think is going to happen? The fire is going to come up and you're going to feel frustrated. You're going to feel disappointed. You're going to feel anger. And that is the main shadow of Aries. If you're impatient, you may also feel this energy. If you don't know how to contain your fire, it doesn't matter how much fire you have and how much passion you have. you can burn yourself out or burn everything, destroy. You had a goal, you destroyed it. Why? Because you were irresponsible or something like that. So there's always that possibility, right? The important thing here is how you are choosing to use your energy, which is the purpose of this class, hopefully to inspire you. With Neptune, the shadow could be Neptune becomes very foggy. There's no boundaries. Now, the area of your life where you have Aries feels foggy, boundaryless, but you're taking action, but you don't know how to take action. And it can lead to a lot of not knowing where to kind of how to set boundaries in a way. Good. Now, what do both planets together represent? So we have them together. We don't have only Neptune or only Saturn. So we have them together. So it's a mix. In astrology, when you have in your chart even a lot of planets together, you want to imagine like if you're creating a soup and you're putting all of the ingredients based on what you put in there, the flavor of the soup is going to change. So neither is more important than the other. They're just different. But pretty much to sum it up is a complete reset of identity, alignment of purpose with action, integration of your dreams with discipline. So this could be a great time to finally start taking action on that thing that was your dream. If for some of you it's taking care of your health, changing your the way that you feel in your body. For some of you, it may be finally starting that project or that new career path. It's finally doing it and to stop thinking about it. For some of you, it may be finally finding peace with your finances and learning, and like, you know how we all have those things like, I'm going to budget this year, I'm going to do this, and then we don't do it. This could be the time where you actually do it. So be very aware of how you're even investing your energy now at the end of the year. What's important for you? Strong drive to begin new paths. It's going to feel natural to start something new. Actually, and we'll talk a little bit about that in just a moment. Yeah, I'll say it in just a moment. But this is the time to start with that new thing that you wanted. If there's any year in the next 9 years that you're going to start something new, the business, even for some people, the relationship, it's this year. I mean, it's 2026 when you want to do that. And a collective push towards independence and self-direction. Yes. Now, one thing that is very interesting is that while all of that is happening and we're connecting with the energy of Aries and the energy of fire and the energy of two planets starting a whole new cycle, we have also in the Chinese zodiac, and every year there's a new, of course, a new year. And in this case, we're going to have the year of the horse. As you know, with Chinese zodiacs, there's the year of the wood or water or fire. So this is the horse of fire. Horses are known for being fast, powerful, and taking off, and fire representing the fuel, the passion, but also the consistent transformation through the journey. The year of 2025 has been the year of the snake. And the snake has been the concept of shedding the old skin. 2025, when you add it together, is the number 9, which is the 9th year of a cycle, like the 9 months of pregnancy. It is the year of completion. So this year, we're completing some big things. We are closing the chapter with Pisces. We're shedding the old skin. So by the time, and you're going to feel like December and the beginning of January, like you're still not ready to take off. Like you're still shedding that skin. Deep breath and let it go. It's time to let it go. Now, on February the 17th, the horse is taking off, kind of like a race where they open the thing and the energy is gonna begin to move. The cycle highlights drive, personal power, and bold choices. People feel a push to act on long delayed goals. So that's what I was saying earlier. If there's something that you were sitting with, like, I've been wanting to do this, I've been wanting to do this, and so many excuses, and people didn't approve, and you cared what people thought about, now you're finally doing it, or you have the chance if you want to. Independence becomes stronger. You feel less influenced by others. This is what's going to happen with Aries. To some people, especially if you have a lot of Aries placements, you may find yourself sometimes even feeling a little bit overconfident this upcoming cycle, and especially this upcoming year. Confidence is great, independence is great, but we don't want to take anything to the extreme. The fire element increases courage and clear intention. The horse influence brings movement, restlessness, and a hunger for progress. The combination encourages you to take responsibility for your direction. Saturn and Aries add structure to the impulse. So actually, people say, oh my God, why does Saturn have to move through the signs? Ugh, Saturn. I think Saturn is beautiful and it's a gift that it's going to give us the structure we need to build this. We don't want to just move through the year and then be celebrating 2027 like what happened. We want to be like, I feel proud of what I did this year, and it regardless of what it looks like for you. Neptune in Aries adds the vision and the purpose, and the fire horse year amplifies the entire Aries cycle and pushes you to step forward with focus and maturity. And if you don't feel excited yet, I hope that you do, because I find this to be beautiful. What's better than consciously be able to desire a new beginning? New endings and beginnings happen all the time. It doesn't need to be 2026. We've all experienced many endings, many beginnings, but in this case, we truly have the ability to put that intention into this year, we could say. And now I want to connect it to this. So when you, in numerology, when you add the numbers, like I said, 2025, if you add the 2 and then the 2 and the 5, you get the number 9. In 2026, when you add all of the numbers, you get the number 10, which you always move it down to one digit, you remove the 0, and it is a year 1. So in numerology, there's also a cycle. And that cycle is a cycle of 9 years. Interestingly enough, when all of these beginnings are happening, we also fall in a year 1. This is another perspective of looking back at this last 9 years for you. What chapters have you closed? This year specifically, maybe you really finally let go of something big. And that's the year 2025, what it represented. So 2026 holds a year 1 vibration in numerology. Year 1 represents new beginnings. It sounds like I'm repeating the same thing, but that's why I wanted to talk about this, because it's so interesting that it's so aligned. But it represents new beginnings, a fresh direction, and personal leadership. It marks the start of a 9-year cycle for your growth and your development. This energy supports action, clarity, and independence. Aries, Saturn, and Neptune aligned with this theme. All three point towards a clean start and a strong step forward. Year 1 asks you to choose your path with intention. And this is where we're going to be supported. Choose your path with intention. Choose your path for you. Choose your path knowing that it's okay if we fail, as long as we chose it because we had an intention for why we were doing that. And then failure, and at least in my perspective, doesn't even exist if you just learn from it. Then it was a powerful lesson. You claim your authority. That's what we're going to be practicing this year. Learn to say no. Learn to say yes. And even for me, learn to stay silent. Sometimes it's not even about talking. And move towards the life you want to build. This is the movement to begin with confidence and commitment. And for example, this is what I was going to say that I didn't say earlier. When there is a year 1 in in numerology, this is the year of new beginnings, meaning from those 9 years, it would be the year that we recommend you to start a new project. It would be the year that it is recommended to start a new business if you've been wanting to start a business. It is the year that it's recommended to start something new. Maybe you've been wanting to go back to school and study something new, completely different that you've ever done. Whatever you start on a year 1 carries so much power that the energy of it has more possibilities to succeed. So that's exciting on its own. I am inviting people right now, for those of you watching this in 2025, if you're watching this in December, in January, take some time to sit with yourself, because all December, all the way until like late January, we're yet not in this energy. And even though people think that the new year starts in January the 1st, in reality, the year astrologically starts in March, when the spring and the equinox start. In Chinese, the Chinese zodiac, it starts around February. When nature starts blooming again in spring, not in the middle of winter when we're supposed to like be like spending time within and pausing. So these next 6 weeks are the time for you to do that, to seriously sit down with yourself and say, write a list of everything you're willing to let go finally. And it can be like stories that you tell yourself. It may be the little thing that you do every single day that you're like, why do I keep doing that? Finally saying that, yeah, como decimos, yeah. And then letting it go, and then sitting down with yourself and feeling it, not just like a list of like what do you call them, like New Year resolutions. No, we're here we're not talking resolutions. We're talking, what is your intention about who you are? What is your intention about your life? Do you want 2026 to be exactly like it is right now? And for some of you, if the answer is yes, then your intention is that maybe you do love your life so much that you want to sustain it. And that's the intention. But for it to be so clear that by the time you start next year, the action, it's like, I will do it because this is what's the most important to me. So I do recommend people sitting down, contemplating, feeling it. It doesn't have to be like, don't, I'm going to schedule it for today and I'm just going to sit down and do it. No, maybe journal every day about it, talk to people about it, because it can really, really, really provide a lot of feedback. So here are some ideas of things that you can do to prepare, especially in late 2025, early 2026. First, identify any emotional patterns that drain you. And emotional patterns, a lot of the time, come from you. Because sometimes when I say this, people say, "Oh, yeah, I know. It's because my husband is so like this. Oh, yeah, I know. It's because my kids make me so angry." We're not blaming anybody anymore. If sometimes people are being hurtful, we need to be able to address it and set those boundaries, because nobody deserves to be disrespected. But here we're talking about the own emotional patterns that you feed, then address them through therapy, journaling, or guided support. How you address these patterns may look different for you based on your needs, based on what you align with, but it's so important for you to address it. Then notice where you fall into self-pity or avoidance. Then replace those habits with direct problem solving. And this takes a lot of vulnerability, and just know that I'm there with you. And I've been contemplating this. We all have a story, as our sob story, that we've told ourselves for so long that we really believe it. Like, we really believe this is true, that we are the victims, that my mom didn't love me the same as she loved my siblings, that no one's going to love me. I'm never going to find a partner. It's so hard for me to lose weight. I'm never going to do this. I have to be like everybody else. I'm just meant to never have money. Whatever story we've been telling ourselves, sometimes we say it to ourselves just to ensure, unconsciously. I'm not saying we do this consciously, but we do it, a lot of us, maybe not everybody. And it leads us to feel pity for ourselves, feel lower. I'm lower than everybody else because of, and then add your story. We want to replace that with, what habit can I do? If I really believe, I mean, it could be anything. If I really think that I'm so bad because I've been trying to, I don't know, anything, get healthier and I haven't done it, then sometimes it's taking a deep breath and saying, you know what, I've tried for 15 years, for 20 years, for 30 years, and maybe it didn't work. But what can I do about it today? And feel the empowerment of one habit that I can do. Or if I have a pity story about something that happened in my childhood, let me, one habit that I can do, it could be going to therapy to talk about it, or addressing it with those people. Sometimes we make up stories and we don't know the full story of what happened. Now, the other thing will be to remove, I mean, that was the emotional cleansing type of thing. But now let's move into the physical. Remove items connected to past relationship, old identity, and outdated stages of life. That pause was needed for those of for those of you that know, and I'm included, that we are holding on to things that we don't need. You're holding on to the letter that your friend in middle school gave you, but you actually forget their name because you actually never talk to them again and you don't even know who they are or whatever it is, right? You're holding on to that one earring just in hopes that maybe you find the other one, even though you lost it in Vegas or something like that. This, especially when it's something that reminds you of your past, we're letting it go. I've been going deep with this right now. Even I remove everything from the walls of my office. I have art that I've always hold on to, and every time I decorate my office, I put the same thing. And I said, no, I'm just gonna, donate it, sell it, gift it, give it to somebody. Somebody else may find joy in it, but it's time to let go, especially when it's attached to your old identity, the old Luciana, like that for a recent purpose or what. The old Luciana wants to hold on to the ring. The new Luciana doesn't want that. This is also important because you're going to be taking action, and anything that's on the way, if it's your own clutter, if it's your own thoughts, you're going to feel irritated, like it holds you back. When next year in random May, you're looking for, I don't know, something, and you're like crazy going around the house, where is it? Where is it? Your energy is being drained. A lot of the times it's better to know this is what I have, this is what I'm going to take care of, because I want my energy to be here with me so I can use it. And then finish unresolved tasks like unpaid bills, legal matters, old conversations, or lingering commitments. This one can be a heavy one and a hard one. And it doesn't mean magically resolve your life, because I know life is not easy. Sometimes we have financial issues, sometimes we have legal issues. Life happens. So it doesn't mean resolve everything like magically all at once. But what it means is that if you've been avoiding the first step that can lead you to a resolution for any of that, it's time to do it. Sometimes it may be, to give an example, I had an issue with like a little bit of a fraud situation with somebody using my name for something. And I thought it was going to be as easy as call, do a fraud report, and be done. Well, no, it's leading to a call that led for somebody to do a claim, and then they're going to call me back, but then they don't call me back. And then they say, wait 41 days, and then this. But because it's overwhelming, it could be easy to say, oh, I don't want to deal with it. No, I want to deal with it. I want to resolve it. So even if it takes 41 days, even if I need to call again, start with that one step. When it comes to finances, sometimes finances are going great, sometimes they're not. So if we cannot pay all of our bills and all of our debt, how can we take care of one thing to move forward? Now, the goal of this one is for you to not feel so heavy, like you're avoiding that topic. Deep breath and facing it. If it's a conversation, a lingering commitment, time to close it off. Maybe delete the chats of the people that you no longer need on your phone. Write down what Saturn and Pisces taught you about boundaries, trust, fear, or emotional maturity. This one, I highly encourage you to do it, because I know right now you may read that and be like, I know what it taught me. I already know. And you're going to think about it. No, really sit with it. Make yourself your favorite drink, your favorite coffee or tea. Go to a coffee shop, take yourself out on a date, and like, literally, what did it teach you about boundaries? Did it teach you that it's hard for you to set them? Did it teach you that boundaries help you? What did it teach you about fear, about emotional maturity? So you can consciously take the lesson with it, instead of just knowing that you survived the last years and that you want to move forward. Another one, an obvious one. I know this one's like, we can all roll our eyes, but a needed one. Improve. Keyword improve is not being perfect, but improve your sleep, improve your nutrition, improve your movement, so your nervous system feels steady. I actually feel that if I could choose from all of this list just one, I would say that one. Because what's going to be required for you next year is to take action. And if you're not feeling well and you don't have energy, you won't be able to take action. So improve your sleep means, if you tell me, Luciana, I don't sleep, I only sleep 3 hours a night, I would ask you, how can you create it? What change could you do to begin to improve your sleep? For some people, they know right away. I know it's because I'm on my phone for like 3 hours until like 3 a.m. Okay, so you're kind of sharing that putting your phone away before bed can help you. Or it could be nutrition, right? I find that the changes with our health need to be gradual for them to be permanent. So, what is something that feels good for you, even to take one little step towards that to help yourself? Adjust daily habits that block growth, such as procrastination, unreliable routines, and unhealthy coping. With this one, again, adjust. In an ideal world, none of us procrastinate. We're never unreliable. We never cope unhealthy. But you know what? That's not life. We all do all these things. But if I procrastinate, I used to procrastinate, I don't know, 5 hours a day. Can I like bring it down to 4.5 or something and eventually start moving in the direction of something better? And then choose clear action each week. Choose a clear action each week that matches your values, such as an honest communication, consistent work, or stronger self care. Where, let's, for example, even as you're moving every week, setting a little intention. I'm not going to trying to change anything, but it could be one of the ones we already talked about. This is not meant to be overwhelming. It could be like, okay, this week I want to be a little bit more consistent with pausing and taking a deep breath, or it could be anything, but showing up for yourself. Yes, I know it's been a lot of information, and I hope you're still there, learning and watching. And I hope more than anything that it's helpful for you. So, with this said, we're arriving at the end of our call today. A new chapter begins. You are a powerful being, and you are about to hit a big reset button and start a whole new energetic chapter in your life. I am 100% rooting for you and excited. This is your chance to take charge, find your courage, and take the first step with love and devotion, because hopefully we took that from Pisces, that we do not move forward by closing our hearts. We move forward by being open. Devotion to life, the life that you are choosing to live, the people that you are choosing to have in your life, the life you're choosing to build as well. Not only build, but live. I invite you to connect with the joy and excitement that this brings. This moment asks you to trust your growth, move with intention, and honor the new direction that is opening for you. When in doubt, take a deep breath, lean on your support system. It's, even though you will feel a lot of more certainty with yourself, community is so important. There's many other transits going on, a big one being that Pluto is in Aquarius, and Pluto is teaching us that leaning in our communities is important. And especially with the growth of technology and AI and all of that, you want to be intentional with being in touch with people. It can be your people. Sometimes doesn't have to be anything crazy or anything new. Sometimes it's just calling your mom, calling your best friend, and just being like, hey, how's your day? So you can lean on them. I hope this information was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Send me a little message. And I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Thank you for watching.